that just be sort of the beginning of it? That might be my closeout.
If we could
Michelle, will you marry me?
Start doing just getting these bands to like play the proposal in the background.
Oh yeah, or like
you know?
Yeah. No, I dig that.
Just real light. Get into her head.
We'll wait till I want to do that.
Yeah, I mean, that's I get it. So you get a high from acting, performing.
Oh, I love nothing more. If I could, if the industry were one that I wanted to get into, 100% I'd be like an actor.
Yeah,
and just devote myself to it. But it's shit.
Yeah,
like it's so hard to like. You can be really good and still just do awful for your whole life.
Yep.
And just like that wrecked me. You know, and not because I considered myself to be like particularly good.
Yeah.
Like I think I'm like decent. I'm pretty good. Mm-hmm. Like I'm decent. And I was like, nah, this is not. I just couldn't deal with like the you know, work a day job that you're just that kills you a little bit,
mm-hmm.
and devote yourself to something that like is probably not going to pan out. Like that just like threw me into a deep depression. Yeah, but I still have that itch, right? I still have like that like itch that I need to scratch, and so like that's why I do, like I'm at the theater like 3 days a week,
right?
Maybe, and I always need to be involved in like some type of project. Yeah, and so it's like, and the stuff that I'm interested in is more like surrealistic than anything.
Yeah,
I know I throw that word around a lot, but it's.
I feel like that shines through in a lot of the stuff I've seen you either write or just do an improv and stuff. I feel like you always kind of take a very like absurd sort of route in things.
Yeah, it's stuff that like is not mass. There's no mass appeal for it.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, but like that's the stuff that like creatively fulfills me. So
I think it's like the primordial form of comedy is just like just really silly shit that didn't have any like, you know, real intent.
Yeah, you can't really explain it. It's
it's
just like this hit me in a way.
It's like a fart. A fart is always funny, and who knows why.
Yeah, a fart is surrealistic comedy.
Yeah. Just to sum it all up. Yeah. Salvador Dali farted really well. Killed the room one time.
I think in a sense that it is.
No,
because it's like
it's abstract, and you just don't know what about it is funny.
You have gas. I know what it is. You got gas coming out of your ass.
Yeah, true. But it's something that's not uncommon. It's something everybody does.
Right.
But every time it happens at the right time to be awesome most of the time.
I don't think I've ever described a fart as awesome. I just want.
Well, see, it's funny because like I come from a long line of men who all
don't we all? Yeah, 100% of us.
Starting
so far, give it
we're
10
all
years.
Sons
10 years.
of Adam. But like all the dudes in my family really like to just punchline things with a fart. Like it's just like a.
Would they have like farts loaded up?
Yeah, always. Yeah, you know what I think. Just do it. Just in the middle of a family gathering.
That's next level of farting.
And everybody goes, and I grew up super ashamed of my farts. Like, just terrified of my own farts. I don't know. You fart in school. You know, like, I've talked about this, like the presidential fitness test where you gotta do sit-ups in an empty, but a quiet gym where everybody's counting in their heads. Yeah. And I had a terrible diet. I would fart every time, about 15 in. And I
think the true, like, test of, like, a group of good friends and like mixed gendered friends is if you can fart and just like say, hey, wasn't that fun? And nobody, like, everyone's just like, oh yeah, look at that fart, and nobody thinks anything of it.
It all it happens to everyone.
I'm a terrible friend, I feel like. Then.
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
Because you don't fart or you don't like the fart?
I don't like the farts.
Oh yeah? You fart shame people?
It's gross to me because it's like, it's just like going in the bathroom after someone's been in there. It's just, it overwhelms me.
Because of the smell or the just act itself?
It's the smell, the idea of
The idea of the smell?
Well, because it is fecal. It is matter that was in you that came out. There's fecal matter in there.
So there's like a whole process. There's a whole it's narrative to every fart that you just go through when you smell it.
Now experience the inside of your body.
It's like 2001: A Space Odyssey. Every time you hear a fart, you just sort of go all the way back to the origin.
Well, let me ask you this: how many times have you silently farted in a room full of people?
Oh no, I don't.
You don't?
No, I
wait
really
a minute.
don't.
Wait a minute.
I will stand in awkward positions and
you'll just
and just not let it happen, and things will shift, and then you're like, great, then you can.
You know where they shift to?
Leave yourself.
You know where they shift to? Your heart, your brain, and then you have an embolism.
That explains everything.
42.
Your heart's laden with farts,
dude. It is. Your heart is going to burst with farts at one point. It's just gonna just right out of your chest.
And they died of fire.
It's just gonna be a big bubble that kind of happens out of your pectoral.
I mean, it may be the funniest thing you guys have ever heard. So
that's how most of the men in my family have died.
By keeping their farts.
Yeah, just holding their farts until their hearts became the size of bowling balls.
It's carcinogenic.
Probably. It's
no, I mostly do that too.
Yeah.
Or I'll just be like, "Hey, I'll be right back," and I'll just go into another place, let out all of it, and then just come back in.
I'll make a half-assed attempt to conceal it.
You so loud as you do it?
Oh yeah, or like a cough or. Once half-ass is a funny choosing of words too. Like I'll just sort of half-ass it. I'll only open up my anus halfway.
Yeah, but if it doesn't work, I'm like, oops.
That's the perfect recovery.
Like that, yeah.
That's the perfect recovery. It's so kind of cute.
Sorry, guys.
Oopsie. I like that.
But I'm a fan of fart humor in television and movies.
You're a walking contradiction.
I don't want to be there to experience it. I think it's funny. It's just
well, I don't like pooping in public, or not in public. Not in public. I love pooping in public. I love making eye contact with people when I'm pooping. But no, I mean in a.
All right.
Yeah. All right. So. What is it like being two performers in a relationship, you and Lindsay?
It's great.
Yeah, you like that? Do you guys? How does that work? Do you guys give each other notes on things? Do you guys?
No, well, yes, but always with the understanding that well, whatever.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. I mean, that's it's one of the people you're the most comfortable with.
Warmest parts of our relationship was when Lindsay came to me and said hey, would it be cool if I started taking improv classes? Because she was concerned that I would feel like she's infringing on my thing, quote unquote my thing,
right?
And immediately I was like, I would love nothing more than for you to take these classes and make this a thing of your own.
That is real
because this is something we can share it now. And she's asked me about my perspective on things after her shows or whatever, and I'll give it, and it's always with a grain of salt, and she gives it to me because she's seen so many of my shows, and she's so wonderful about being supportive of me, and I want to do the same for her. And it's wonderful. I mean I don't see any the only negative is that we're both involved in shows which may conflict with each other, in terms of I have a show Wednesday, she has a show Thursday, I have a show Friday, type of thing.
Oh yeah.
To where our entire week's taken up. That sucks.
Yeah.
And you lose a part of your relationship that you need. You just need the one-on-one time. So that's hard.
Yeah. Absolutely.
But otherwise, it's good. It's great.
No, yeah, I remember when my brother moved to Austin and he was like, "Hey, I want to take a sketch writing course because I want to do stuff with you," and I was like, I was just so flattered, I was like, "All right, first one's on me. We'll see if you like it." Yeah, it was it came around his birthday too, so I signed both of us up for sketch one.
Oh, cool.
And he had a really great he had a great knack for it. That being said, this is his first time living alone or on his own. And in the summer, which is kind of when he started, that's when it gets really slow where we work. and the money's not as easily had.
Right.
So he started to freak out because it was for the first time in his life he was broke. Because he never paid rent or anything. So he kind of panicked and backed out of the whole writing thing, which is fine. I kind of get it. It took me a while to just understand Austin as a concept when I first got here. So I was like, I should have kind of waited, maybe let him like get his roots in the city first. But I don't know. He was good enough that I'll probably bug him about it later. But I just want to for real. But I do realize that I rushed him into it immediate 2 months after he moved here, and there's a grace period. There's a grace period here where you just need to acclimate because it's entirely different from South Carolina.
That's right.
I had culture shock like crazy, and it's weird because I had more so.
Explain that.
Okay, well, we come from a really small town. Really small. The idea that I could be surrounded by buildings and pavement was weird. Just at its core. That seems like one of the first things that you should just get over, but It was weird to me. And the idea of public transportation, everything being close enough to walk to. The idea of really walking, because everything's so spread out in our town that everybody has a car.
Yeah.
And even still, Austin, it's hard to walk in.
It's
hard to be just ambulatory.
Yeah, but there's still more per square foot of more stimulation,
right.
So even if I have to walk somewhere and it's kind of a ways, there's still cool shit on the way that I could stop at, and there's a coffee shop every 3 blocks, that kind of thing. Whereas in my hometown, it's just woods full of scary people.
Yeah, we were 30 minutes from a Walmart. So.
Oh wow, that's like Little House on the Prairie.
Yeah, we had local, store that changed names 9 times or something, and then if you wanted big stuff, you had to go to the city. So.
You were a go to the city boy.
So Papa would leave me with the children
because we had grown up in the military, so it was kind of moving all over the place, and then we came down. Yeah, so I remember falling asleep in the car ride down to South Texas to Palacios, and I woke up. And it was Valentine's Day parade in Palacios, Texas. So I woke up in this town where no one's built a new building, on the main street in, 50, 60 years. And that was my first impression, was just hey, here's a parade of 5 floats.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh no, where are we? And then it's close to a nuclear plant, and I was like, this is not good.
Nuclear plants aren't dangerous. I don't know what you're...
Well, no, they aren't. But when you're 13 and you know nothing about them...
Yeah. I'd be excited, but I also read too many comic books as a kid.
Yeah, right.
I'd be Godzilla. Super pumped. I would be splashing around in every puddle outside of that nuclear power plant. Just open.
No, yeah, totally. No accidents that I've ever heard of. And so
the whole vilification of nuclear power is completely absurd and based on no fact. Yeah,
it's oil and coal.
Yeah, nuclear power is easily the safest, cleanest kind of.
If we could just have Superman throw the waste into the sun, we'd be fine.
That is very true.
And the sun would eat it.
That's why I was trying to splash around in the puddles. I wanted to be Superman for you guys. That's all it was.
I do always forget if it's fission or fusion with the sun.
I would be straight up though, guys. If I do
right?
I don't know. I always forget.
Yeah, me too. No. It's
fusion is hot, right?
Well, it's because it's hydrogen to helium, and then so on and so forth.
Right.
Which is losing, which is losing gaining. Something. Okay, no, gaining is fusion, fission is losing something.
Because that's how the universe worked. Is the Big Bang happened, and then the stars happened and fused into heavier.
Gotcha. And then fission is splitting something.
Yeah.
Okay. Which is why they're looking for cold fusion, because normally energy is released, right? When you break apart.
I think in both instances.
If I got superpowers now, I'd be a villain, guys. I just want you to know that straight up. I would not use that power for good. I don't think.
I think a lot of people would.
Yeah. I don't know that I'd be a super villain in the sense of I'd threaten people, but I would only I'd rob banks or I would just keep myself very comfortable.
I mean, I think morality is real gray. So
yeah, corporations are just a case study in superpowers.
Yeah, true.
Because corporations are super powerful, and you see how they use them.
Yeah, True. Yeah, they do have superpower in the sort of ethereal concept.
I was listening to a TED Talk on NPR.
Oh, go on.
He was just talking about how most things that we do or believe are based on stories that we've told ourselves, you know? And it was just like, God, it's true, man. I miss being in college and talking about this over coffee all the time. That's what I want. I want that, but with comedy. I want a group of people to get together and we just talk about nothing about why is this thing funny? Do we think that would be funny? Why did that work? What do we think about improv?
Yeah, but what